The Kanto region is home to some absolutely incredible big cities. Celadon City is an entertainment haven with its Game Corner Casino that has no problem letting children gamble. Vermilion City is a port town with an amazing cruise liner called the SS Anne, whose captain has an affinity for back rubs. And Saffron City is a huge city, home to the revolutionary tech company Sylph Corporation, which is held hostage by a gang. However, hidden within this modern, cutting-edge region, there are two small towns, and I decided to visit one of them. This town is called Pallet Town. Now you might be wondering, is Pallet Town a good place to visit? Well, in order to answer that question, first I have to tell you my criteria for what makes a good vacation spot. There are 5 main things that I look for when judging a place: food, lodging, transportation, entertainment, and people. Food is, of course, the selection of things to eat that are available from places like restaurants and stores. Lodging is the group of places to sleep and stay. Transportation is how easy it is to get around in a place. Entertainment is kind of a catch-all for the different interesting things to do in a location. And finally, people is how engaging and nice the population is. Now that I've given you the lowdown on the categories, let's get properly started. We're gonna begin with food, and well, there really isn't any. Pallet Town doesn't have any restaurants, supermarkets, or stores of any kind to get food from. Unfortunately, if you want food in Pallet Town, you're gonna have to go primal and hunt for food yourself. There's a body of water on the southern side of the town, so if you have a fishing rod, you can fish for Pokemon to eat if you're of the carnivorous variety. Well, I guess if you're eating fish, it would be more appropriate to call you a pescatarian, but in any case, food options are incredibly low. If you walk into the houses of some of the residents, you can see that people have dishes and they do cook food. So food must be getting to Pallet Town some way. I guess everyone must do their food shopping out of town. Or maybe there's a Pokemon food delivery service of some kind. In any case, Pallet Town's food gets a 1 out of 5 stars. Next, we have lodging. Now, you may or may not have noticed this, but there are only 2 houses in Pallet Town, and only one of them has a bed. Fortunately, the lady who lives in the house doesn't have a problem with you staying in her house and getting some rest. I guess this must be that small town friendliness that you sometimes hear about. Though I can't imagine what would happen if more than one person decides to vacation in Pallet Town. I guess there are chairs to sleep on if you're that desperate. There are other people living in Pallet, so you have to wonder where they lay their heads at night. I'm gonna give Pallet Town's lodging situation a 1 out of 5 stars. Moving along, let's talk about transportation in Pallet Town. Or rather, the lack of transportation in Pallet Town. There are no planes, no trains, no buses, no cars, no bikes, there aren't even any roads. Fortunately, this isn't really an issue because Pallet Town is an amazingly small town. Literally everything is less than a 20-second walk away from each other, so transportation is getting a 5 out of 5 stars. Next up, we're gonna move on to the entertainment in Pallet Town. When I talk about entertainment, I'm referring to places of interest, stores to shop at, cool things to do, stuff like that. Pallet Town has none of those things. I know towns in the middle of nowhere are quite infamous for not having much to do, but man, Pallet Town might be the king of being boring, unless you really like staring at flowers moving in the wind. Well, I guess I am selling Pallet a bit short. Pallet Town is home to the research laboratory of Professor Oak, one of, if not the most respected scientist in the region. Inside of the lab, there's quite a few books to read about Pokemon, but unless you're really into studying Pokemon, there's really nothing to do here besides look at the flashing lights of machines that you have no idea of what they do. As for some of the other things that you can do in Pallet, there are TVs, so you can watch some shows or movies to pass the time. On the second floor of the house of the hospitable lady, there's a computer with internet connection, so that's nice. I'm not entirely sure how good the internet is, but at least it works. The same room also has a Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm pretty sure most people would probably be turned off if the only game system that a house they were staying in had was a system that came out 40 years ago. I, however, am not most people, so I greatly appreciate the NES. While the thought of having a genuine retro console to play is really cool, I don't think it's enough to save Pallet Town from getting a 2 out of 5 stars in the entertainment category, which I think might even be a bit of a generous ranking. Finally, we'll take a look at the people in Pallet Town, and most of them are pretty boring. They don't do or talk about anything interesting, really. All they do is talk about Pokemon. One guy does mention that Professor Oak is apparently going to be starting a radio show, but I haven't seen a single radio in all of Pallet Town, so I have no idea how the people here are even getting to tune in. Maybe Professor Oak uploads the broadcast later on his VOD channel or something. There is this one young woman named Daisy who can take care of your Pokemon, which is nice, I guess. And of course, I've already talked about the nice lady who lets you sleep at her house. But yeah, that's about it when it comes to people. So yeah, I think I'm going to give the people of Pallet Town a 2 out of 5 stars. Let's go over all of the rankings for Pallet Town. That's 1 out of 5 stars for food, 1 out of 5 stars for lodging, 5 out of 5 stars for transportation, 2 out of 5 stars for entertainment, and 2 out of 5 stars for people. Overall, that gives Pallet Town a pretty bad rating of 2.2 out of 5 stars. The high score in transportation did a lot of heavy lifting because otherwise, Pallet Town is mostly just a whole lot of bad. There's just so little of anything here. There aren't any restaurants to eat at, so you'll likely be spending a ton of money on DoorDash, Uber Eats, or whatever food delivery service you want to use. Unless you want to sleep on the literal grass, you gotta sleep at the hospitable lady's house. And who knows, she could secretly be a psycho killer who uses a free bed as a way to get you to lower your guard so she can gut you like a fish in your sleep. There's no police presence at all in Pallet Town, so I doubt you can call 911 if things get dicey. There aren't really many places of interest to spend time, so I don't think Pallet Town is a particularly good vacation spot, and all of the reasons I listed would make it a bad place to live too. I guess if you want a low-key place to live a quiet life, then maybe you'd enjoy living here. And I guess Pallet Town isn't the worst small place to live in the Kanto region. You could live in Lavender Town, which is filled with ghosts and crime, or you could live on Cinnabar Island, which, as the name implies, is in the middle of the ocean with no connection to land. But there you have it. That was my review of Pallet Town. Let me know if any of you have ever taken a stop here, and tell me your thoughts on the city. Oh, and be sure to give me some suggestions for some other vacation spots in the comments. That's all I have to say for today, so thanks for watching y'all, and have a great rest of your day.